Hello, my name is Andy, and in the heart of Google, there is a very simple but yet mysterious search engine. Can you please tell me what that is? And if you're smart enough to read the title, it is actually Google Autocomplete. Today we talk about Google Autocomplete and how to utilize it effectively. Google Autocomplete is a very simple search engine to which all it does is tries to predict what you're typing while you're typing in the Google search bar. Well, we talk about the history of Google Autocomplete, how it works, and how to utilize it effectively. First, let's talk about the history of Google Autocomplete. Who made it? How it became so popular? Who is the main creator of it all? Well, according to Atlanta Media Company, the main creator is Kevin Gibbs. Kevin Gibbs, as you can see right here, was sitting on a Google bus shuttle from San Francisco to Mountain View. This gave him plenty of free time. And in his free time, he developed this thing called a URL predictor. What is a URL predictor? I mean, it's his name. It predicts URLs. It predicted URLs that Gibbs was about to type. And as he spent more time on this, he developed it more and more and more, and he eventually showed it to his friends. His friends were like, wow, this is amazing, fantastic, great idea, you're a genius, all that. But there was one particular friend that took much interest into this. That friend was his boss, essentially, Google. Google took this idea and brought it to the Google Internet Infrastructure team, which was housed in a place like this. And what this team did is that they developed it more and more and more to make Google Suggest. Google Suggest was essentially the earliest form of Google Autocomplete, except it had less data and a different name. Google Suggest was actually only limited to Google Labs, but eventually it moved on to greater things such as Google.com, Google mobile apps, maps and browsers, Google Instant, and eventually other companies just saw it and they were like, wow, that's good. They took the idea, and hence the browsing area, I guess you could say, is now more modernized thanks to the creation of Google Autocomplete and the Google team. So Google Autocomplete was basically just made by a man who wanted to work faster, and just developed a thing called the URL predictor. Google picked it up, made it something big, and it became the modern version of browsing. Now that you understand the history of Google Autocomplete, let's talk about how it works. I don't know how it works. I'll tell you how. So Google Autocomplete uses two special algorithms: personal search history as well as popular and trending searches. Let's first talk about the personal search history. So as you can see on here, the first two are in purple. These highlighted purple searches are searches that you have made specifically. This is so that you can go back to these searches very easily without having to waste any time typing the same thing that you have typed over and over again. This is especially useful if you close a tab by accident and you don't remember what you typed, then you can just go back to the Google Autocomplete, type in maybe the first few words, or it will be on the top actually if you searched it very recently, and it will help you remember and hopefully help you go back to the place you were before. Now the second algorithm is popular and trending searches, and this one is quite simple. These are in black, and it's simple, it's quite simple. The point is quite simple. The more popular it is, the higher it is. And of course there are some censorships where they censor out inappropriate ones, although this isn't too terribly strong, it is still there. And it also has relevancy factors. What this relevancy factor does is, let's say for example, the coronavirus. Coronavirus is being searched very much nowadays because of the pandemic, and everybody's in fear. Now, although Google suggests coronavirus linked searches as of right now, later on, maybe a year from now when the cure is there, it will no longer be searched. This is because Google Autocomplete makes sure that these searches are relevant within our time frame. Not that some random search will be just coming out of nowhere every single time, even though nobody knows what it is. If you still have the same searches from 20 years ago and now, the searches will be just all over the place. Popular searches wouldn't make sense. Maybe such an old dances, old music, or old people would come out and people would just say, who is this? And hence the relevancy factor makes sure that everything is just as accurate as possible. So Google Autocomplete works by utilizing two specific algorithms: personal search history as well as popular and trending searches. This is so they can make their searches and predictions as accurate and as efficient as possible. Now that you understand how Google Autocomplete works, let's talk about how to use it. How do I use it? Well, let me tell you how. Google Autocomplete has two other ways of use besides just completing sentences. You can use it to create content ideas, or you can use it to find a reputation company. Let's talk about content ideas. So like I said before, Google Autocomplete utilizes popular trending searches. With this, you can now figure out what the majority population is trying to look for, what the majority population is looking for certain things. Let's say, for example, you're making a restaurant, and you look at restaurant infrastructure. And with that, you can look through the suggested to see what people are looking for inside a restaurant, the infrastructure of the restaurant. You can also look up shoes, and you can see, oh, here are different brands of shoes that people are wearing, etc., etc., etc. It helps create an idea of what the general population wants, and this can be very helpful for things such as projects, content, as well as maybe interviews. There's a very famous interview known as the Wired Autocomplete interview. It is an interview system where famous actors, celebrities, and other people use the Google Autocomplete suggestion to create interview ideas. Not only does it create interesting questions, but it creates questions that the majority of the population is looking for, hence making it very efficient and very powerful. Now, the second way to use Google Autocomplete is by learning the reputation of a company. Now, I will pull up a slide as of right now. Now, here is a Google suggested looking up company. In this specific form, it is Google. Now, as you can see, 4 of the suggested are negative. And with this, you can now conclude that the company is negative. Why, you may ask? Like I said before, it is based off of popularity. These are all the searches that are popular. If you're looking at Google and the suggested are all negative, that means negativity towards Google is growing popular right now, which means that the majority of the population believes that Google is not good or just doing poorly. And as you can see on the top 2, Google is stupid, etc., 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 you can now see that Google is not doing very well as of right now, hence you can just stop using Google or other things. Now, with that, sometimes it is not 100% accurate. Sometimes there are rumors and other things, but still it is very efficient and very powerful. So in conclusion, Google Autocomplete is a very simple but yet powerful tool that is often overlooked by everybody. Google Autocomplete is a simple search engine that was created by Kevin Gibbs on a bus shuttle from San Francisco to Mountain View. Google took this idea and made it so much better, powerful, and made it the modern way. And how it works is essentially by using algorithms from personal search history as well as company trending searches to make it much more efficient and accurate. And you can use this popularity search function by making content ideas based off the searches or by learning the reputation of the company. Now, basically, Google Autocomplete is like a hidden gem in a mountain. Everybody sees it. Everybody can see Google Autocomplete in their everyday lives. But very few people are able to take it. And it's so valuable that even Google wanted it. So now that you know how to use Google Autocomplete, go use it at home. Make your searches, make your ideas heard out there.